Here is the fascinating thing about a survival-based childhood. If you do not heal the dysfunctional dynamics of doing things that you don't want to do, that you learned that you had to do in a survival-based childhood, where if you didn't do them, you were basically not acknowledged. You were not existent. You did not get what you needed in the unhealthy survival-based childhood, and you learned that you couldn't be yourself. You learned that you had to play a very specific role just to survive, just to exist. And so if you don't heal that from childhood, you'll bring that into adulthood, and you'll wake up on a daily basis doing things that you don't want to do, simply because you are still living in survival. Fight, flight, freeze, fawn. You didn't get the healthy boundaries, you didn't get the individuation, you didn't get the differentiation. You were not accepted as you were in the survival-based childhood. No, you learned that in order to exist, in order to be loved, in order to be seen, you had to play a specific role. And so that's all that you're doing in adulthood now. You're just doing the same thing that you were in the survival-based childhood, but in adulthood now. Maybe you're people pleasing. Maybe you learned in your survival-based childhood that in order to receive love, validation, approval, acceptance, you had to maybe please your parents. Maybe you were raised by, I don't like labels, but narcissists, and you learned that you had to be an extension of them in order to exist. They didn't give a shit about you. They just used you for their own sense of, self-soothing their insecurities. That's it. That's all there was to it. But now you're in adulthood and you can set healthy boundaries. You can individuate and differentiate away from that dysfunctional and fucked up system. It can be different for you now. You can recognize that you don't have to look out there for acknowledgement of self, for existence, because you learned that in the survival-based childhood, you had to do certain things just to be seen, just to exist. You didn't exist otherwise. That's not healthy. And if you're still doing that in adulthood, it's not good or bad or right or wrong. It's just not healthy. All of your relationships will change if you choose to heal the dynamics of survival, because you won't be attracted to the same things anymore. You'll see everything for what it is. You'll take the space to develop yourself in a healthier way, and it will transform everything. It's really wild how this works. It really is. You do not have to continue living in survival in adulthood. Heal all that stuff, and your life transforms drastically. It's wild. Do better for yourself.